So you said yesterday you were talking about, I wanted just you could repeat that about why it's important to say Astaghfirullah and why 300.
So, AstagfirAllah means, wa atubu ilayh means I seek God's forgiveness, and atubu ilayh means I want to return back to Him, in the meaning that I have deviated from His ways and I want to go back to His ways, to Him. That's the meaning of Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Now, why is that important? That's important for many reasons. Prophets used them, obviously. One of the most emphatic lines in the Quran was when Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, and as if Nuh is giving his people, who he lived long time around, Noah, he's telling them the summary of his life. فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ, he tells them, seek forgiveness of your Lord. إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا. He is excessively forgiving. I don't know, extremely forgiving, something more than just extremely forgiving. And the reason Noah alayhi salam says إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا, he's excessively forgiving, extremely forgiving, is because he wanted to tell them, don't listen to the voices in you that are coming from either yourself or evil, that tells you you've done so many evil things, there's no way you could be forgiven. To the point that some people tell themselves, you know what, I've done so much, I wouldn't even forgive me. Right? So I wouldn't even forgive me. What does that make them? I would not seek His forgiveness, because definitely if I wouldn't forgive me, He wouldn't forgive me. That's how they rationalize it. The fallacy in all that is God is not you. Yeah, your forgiveness is capacity is limited. Yes, you don't forgive people who wrong you 10 times. You might forgive them if they wrong you twice, 3 times, 4 times. 10, 15, 20, you might not forgive them. The Creator is not attributed with that. He forgives you no matter how many times you do wrong, so long you selflessly and sincerely go back to Him. That's the idea behind Noah alayhi salam asking them. First, you need to ask Him for forgiveness, because He's readily forgiving. Irrespective of what you did, you can start again. It won't be wiped out, but you can start again correcting, and maybe then redeeming yourself if you remain steadfast and do good. So long you breathe, there's another opportunity. All right? So, and from this and from the prophetic practice of doing at least 70 times to 100 times a day, seeking forgiveness. And the beauty of seeking forgiveness is not just for the sinner. It's also for those who do extremely well, like prophets, who are sinless. They also do istighfar. And the reason for that is Sufis have an understanding about that. They say your station with God is continuously elevated if you're walking, if you're journeying to Him, is continuously elevated. And what you thought, the situation that you thought you were in a year ago that was so perfect, if you continue to walk the journey to Him, you realize after a year what you thought was perfect wasn't that perfect. Now you're much more perfect. So then you seek istighfar for that situation that you thought was perfect for you then, because it wasn't really perfect. You're now perfect, but actually even now you're not perfect. So after you do your perfect, what you think is perfect, you also do istighfar, because of continuous path toward perfection that is limitless, because the path to Him is limitless. So, and that's what the Sufis have a statement. They say, Hasanatul Abrar, Sayyiatul Muqarrabin, which means Direct translations means good deeds for the righteous are bad deeds for the close ones. How can a good deed be bad deed? I mean, let's say I'm doing sadaqah or I'm praying. How can this be bad to someone, for someone who's I'm not righteous? I hope I become one. But for someone who's righteous, righteous is the station of the awliya, saints. But how can such a thing that's righteous for the saints is considered to be bad deeds for those who are really, really close to the Creator of all? Well, because the perfection now is no longer mechanical in the sense as much. At the level of the beginner level of walaya, you start perfecting your mechanical and spiritual. But then you start looking into the micro aspect of your closeness and experience and relationship to the Creator to realize you really have to fine-tune lots of things still. And whatever you thought was perfect, oh, now you are much more perfect than you were last year. And therefore, the good deeds of the righteous are bad for those who really close up. Oh, no, I don't want to get there. Even though they're perfect for them. So, istighfar then is a ladder of continuous ascension. Because it does two things. Number one, it gives you recognition of your continuous journey. You haven't arrived. You have found, or you are found, but you haven't arrived. And arrival is like timeless. Because knowing Him, the all-loving Creator of all, is not limited. And therefore, arriving at His presence is also going to be unlimited. So, no matter how you arrived, how much you arrived, oh, there's a higher level of arrival. So seek istighfar for thinking you've arrived. Because even at the highest level, you're at the beginning of the journey to the limitless presence. One. Number two, it takes away, istighfar takes away from the seeker arrogance. I've done perfectly. I seek your forgiveness, as if you're saying, my perfect is not presentable. It's not, even if I apply myself to it, I'll find some holes in my deed, my very perfect deed. It won't measure up. So, I seek your forgiveness and redemption to mend its brokenness and make it acceptable. So that's istighfar. Third, also istighfar here for those who do good. I'm not talking about sins here. We're still talking about the awliya, the saints. Istighfar for them is to deny the self. Not just deny the deed that the deed is perfect. I didn't do a perfect deed. But to deny the self-agency in it. In the sense that I seek your forgiveness if I ever thought the good I did is because of me. It is all because of your facilitation for me to do good. It's your grace that led me to do this. So I seek your forgiveness because I'm not worthy of your grace. So please forgive me for being not worthy of it, and forgive me because I'm not thankful enough for the grace you give me so I can do good. So that's for the advanced, for the saint, for the awliya. As far as for people like me, I mean, you're asking forgiveness for all the sins that you accumulate every single day that are blocking your heart, your eyes, and your mind, and taking you down, and robbing you from the barakah, the blessings in your time, in your family, in your rizq, in your provision, in your food, in your health, in your studies, in your work. I mean, literally all that stuff. So And therefore, for us sinners and imperfect people, then istighfar becomes like that spiritual shower that you really need to have, otherwise you stink. Literally. And there's many stories of the awliya in the old days that would actually detect that. Stay away from me, or I don't want to be close to you. Literally. Because it just stinks, man. It's just stinks. So that's something that I'm sure all of you have something like that. I mean, that let's say sin of arrogance in my case. May Allah forgive me, but it stinks. It actually stinks, and it's tangible. It's not intangible. It's tangible to the eyes and the hearts of those who are close. Because when you're dirtied up, a lot of your white shirt is dirtied up. You can't tell between 90% dirtied up and 85% or 7. Who cares? But when someone is totally clean, even if you have little, they can see. All right, okay, don't get close to me this time. So for us, I think it's important because sins will stink up your thing. You need a shower, and you need it sincerely, like you need to clean yourself properly. That means you need to bring your heart into istighfar, not say it just with your mouth, with your lips, but you have to say it with your heart, and really clean up, and really make that intention that you're going to stay away from your bad habits. Now, what if you don't even know your bad habits? You think you're all perfect. Welcome to humanity 2025 Gregorian, where they think, what did I do wrong? Can you give me examples? Like, I don't need a microscope, just look in the mirror. I don't need to give you examples, man. Like, Jeff, can you give me examples? I mean, where did I go wrong? Are you kidding? Like, are you serious? You're seriously asking that? Like, you seriously think you have no problems? Oh, you know some of them? Work on them. So, the mere question is so foolish. Like, can you give me the exact example where I said something wrong? Can you do istighfar and correct? So the issue of istighfar has to be coupled with tawbah, which is actual intention, actionable intention to correct course. Because if you don't correct course, it means that your istighfar is lip service. You don't really mean what you say. Or you don't know, you actually think that you haven't done anything wrong, you're perfect. You're just doing istighfar because you're just such a wali of Allah, such a not good saint. You're just doing extra dhikr. You're not that you need to change anything because you've been totally heedless from even your own imperfections and problems. You don't even see them, you only see the others. So your istighfar, you think you're doing God a favor because I'm not really in need of it. I'm just doing it because it's Astaghfirullah. I mean, I have to do it because it's part of the thing. So you're like in double the sort of darkness in the ocean of blindness. And there's a problem with it. And therefore, if there's no muhasabah, that's what also Sufi speak about. That's what the Prophet ﷺ spoke about in the Quran. If there's no self-accountability and saying, I have a problem. And if you don't know your problem, that's where Imam Ghazali says, if you can't figure out your own problems, ask your Shaykh. So usually the Shaykh is not going to tell you you're just an arrogant, ignorant, blinded. It has to be. Just work on your selflessness, son. Will you? What am I going to tell you? You're causing mayhem. You're letting shaitan ride you like a donkey and destroying the whole farm. What am I going to tell you? work a little bit on your generosity, son. Sharing is good. Tame your ego a little bit, okay? So Al-Ghazali says if you don't have a teacher who tells you this, then find a friend who's willing to tell you your problems, not to tell you you're perfect. Because I know I'm perfect already. So now, because I already believe that, delusionally, I'm not. I'm potentially perfect. Okay, find a good friend that will be transparent with you and tell you that stuff. Because he says if you can't find a friend that would tell you like your real things because he doesn't know, he cannot identify these things, look for your enemies and see what do they really say about you. What's the most hurtful thing? There's essence of truth in that. It might not be entirely true, something maybe. Fix it. Thank your enemies for that because they're teaching you how to become better. Istighfar is after you've identified that, you're going into redemption. I need to change, I need to improve. And only Allah redeems, nobody else does. But without identifying the problems, you're never gonna. It's like a patient who is in denial. There's nothing wrong with me. You're a doctor, you know this, right? There's nothing wrong with me. Man, you have congestive heart failure. You're gonna die anytime soon. You have aortic aneurysm. Any time will pop up and you're dead. We can't even get you to the hospital. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with me. You all think that I have an issue. I don't. Okay. What can I tell you? You come to me, I'll tell you. Go see a good physician. Be careful, don't exert yourself too much. Worry about your diet. Ask the physician what he thinks of a good exercise for you. Do some meditation, exercise, reflection, mindfulness, etc. What am I going to tell you? You're going to die in a minute? It's not in my hands. So, istighfar is before and after, but specifically the tawbah is after identification of your problem areas. You need to identify them. That's called muhasabah. If you don't have muhasabah, you're going to live your whole life blinded by the delusional awesomeness of your self-perception. If that was the case, why would Allah send prophets? If everybody's perfect, the way they are. Why would the Quran commend those who struggle and calls it jihad, الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, those who struggle against their selfishness in our path, we shall guide them to it. Why? Why does the Quran call it struggle? If it's so cool, I don't need to struggle, I don't need to do anything. I'm already perfect. The problem is not in me, the problem is in everybody else around me. So you're in the wrong address. You should be going to heavens. What are you doing here? Istighfar comes as the final the first and the middle and the final tool to redirect, reorient, and get us on the path again. Shukran.
So when you think Allah forgives sins, then we're still asked about them, right? On the day of judgment.
I believe that every sin that you commit is recorded, and I lean to think that only in exceptional cases it could be erased. However, if you don't execute the sins, meaning sins by thought only, you will be exonerated from being accountable for them, but they're there. And the mere fact that they're there means there's a little harm associated with them. So the Creator forgives, no doubt. But the longer it lingers, you linger before turning back to Him, the longer you're going to suffer. And the more complex consequences and ramifications will be.
But if we say AstagfirAllah and He forgives all the sins or the sins we ask of, it's still written in our book, though, right?
It is, in my view, it's not erased, but you will no longer be asked about it. You're exonerated from that accountability for them. But will they be erased? It's a question between scholars. I think maybe in exceptional cases they may be, and I ask Allah for that to be the case. But the fact that you will not be asked about them, that's pretty good.